Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to Imperium Gaming, and welcome to the 4th episode of Kingdom Come Deliverance History, a series where I use the game as a visual tool to showcase various aspects of late medieval life. More specifically, this is part 3 of the Castle series. You can watch parts 1 and 2 here if you haven't already. If you have, then great, let's get started. Talmberg. This is personally my favorite castle in Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm actually building the Talmberg inspired castle over on Minecraft, which just kinda shows how much I love this place. I mean, come on, just look at it. As with the other castles I already mentioned, location is key. Just take a look at Talmberg's positioning. The inner and outer baileys are well secured on this massive rock of a hill with only one main entrance to the castle, which is of course fitted with a portcullis. The outer bailey here is reinforced by a crenellated wooden palisade. Again, the crenellations here offer defenders both line of defense and protection from enemy missiles. I want to comment quickly on the battlements of the outer bailey. Notice how we have crenellations on its northern, eastern, and western sides, which would have given defenders an advantage over a besieging army, but we don't have this on the castle-facing southern side. The reason here is you don't want to offer the enemy protection should they successfully take the outer bailey. This way, they would be exposed to the defenders of the inner bailey's crenellations and western tower. If we make our way towards the inner bailey, we'll find a deep moat with a drawbridge, just as we did with Skalitz. Again, this would be used to prevent the enemy from easily reaching the keep and their inner bailey. We also see, as expected, a portcullis reinforcing the gatehouse, which is also fitted with these wooden hoarding-style machicolations, which, once again, would have allowed defenders to attack the enemy from above, with arrows, stones, boiling water, oil, etc. As we enter the inner bailey, we're met with an imposing rounded tower. We already mentioned the smaller western tower, but this is just awe-inspiring. It most definitely would have been an intimidating sight to behold for defenders. There's nothing to discuss about the keep's exterior that we haven't already mentioned in our Skalitz walkthrough. We have a rectangular keep that's simple in design, yet highly functional in its purpose. Unlike the keep at Skalitz, however, we can actually explore the interior. So, let's get started. We have a general servant's quarters and a kitchen. Notice how the walls aren't decorated. We'll get back to this in a second. Moving up, we have the second floor, which holds the Great Hall. This is where Sir Divish and the future lords of Talmberg will have their meals. Unlike the first floor with a simple whitewashed interior, these walls are properly decorated for the nobility. Despite the representation of castle interiors as plain stone in popular media, such as TV and film, we know that they were quite decorative with all sorts of art, be it religious or secular. I'm actually planning on making a video on medieval art for the Kingdom Come Deliverance History series, but just to give you all a quick preview, we have the heraldic art of Talmberg, along with religious iconography, such as Adam and Eve and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden, and the slaying of the dragon by St. George. Notice how thick the walls are. This is great attention to detail since castle walls and other fortified structures needed to be anywhere from 1 to 2 meters thick in order to withstand bombardment. The third floor of the keep is where we have Sir Divish and Lady Stephanie's private chambers, as well as their own private chapel, which is what you would expect in a medieval castle. Remember, castles were the homes of the nobility, and they would need their own room for prayer, away from the presentry. We can access the innermost ramparts, which not only allow defenders to focus on the outskirts of the inner bailey, but also on the central courtyard. We can imagine a scenario where the enemy successfully breached the outer and inner bailies and are within the confines of the courtyard itself. Well, now they're essentially trapped in a four-sided kill box, with defenders firing from all angles.
The castle is designed so we'll be like hens in a coop to anyone with a bow on the inner battlements.
Layers of defensive measures. This is great castle design. Speaking of great castle design, you can't access the eastern tower from the inner bailey. You have to go through the third floor of the keep and then through the inner ramparts. So this tower, which is technically the castle's donjon, is Talmberg's last point of defense. Spoiler alert, If you've played through the campaign, you'll remember that this was precisely the case for Sir Istvan Toth after the siege of Talmberg. Looking at the outer ramparts of the inner bailey, we again find crenellations. These are, of course, made of stone, so they are much sturdier than their wooden counterparts. Again, take a look at how thick these walls are. Walls were often packed with rubble and other materials to make a sturdy fortification. And let me tell you, these walls are sturdy as hell. And that was my brief overview of Talmberg. Again, this is my favorite castle in Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I hope you enjoyed this video. The next episode in the series will be a special 2-for-1 video on the upper and lower castles of Rete, so that should be a pretty good one. Thanks for watching, and for more on your favorite historical games, stay tuned with Imperium Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, and on our blog. Links in the video description. Thanks again, and until next time.